Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video in SQL Server. Today we are going to see about what all are the built-in functions available in SQL Server. Last day we have seen what are the inbuilt operators in SQL Server. So today we are going to see about built-in functions which are available in SQL Server and how we can use those functions in various scenarios for our operations. Let us get into the SSMS and see the live examples. Here I have connected inside my SSMS under my database training DB. I have created a table creation script and some insert statements. Let me execute this and create our customer table. A customer table has been created, and let us insert all these records inside the table. So 25 rows got affected into the table. Let's select and view those records. Select start from customer. So in our table we have a ID column and the first name, last name of the customer. We have the date of birth, salary, and joined it. Okay, let us make this so familiar. Let us keep this as an employee table. So this is more related to the employee data. Drop table employee if it is X. So there is no employee. So let us create this employee table. Let's create this employee table and insert all these 25 rows inside our employee table. So 25 rows got affected. Let's select and see all our employees. We have the ID, we have the first name and last name of the employees, and the date of birth of those employees, and their salary and their join date. Let us see all the built-in functions available in SQL Server. So in string function we have length, left, right, substring, char text, replace, upper, lower, ltrim, right trim, concat, format, and in mathematical functions we have absolute, random, ceil, floor, power, square root, rand, and sign operator. And date time format we have get date of, date add of, date diff, date part, date name, format, system date, date form, date from parts, and date diff big. And for aggregation function we have some average, count, max, min, and for conversions we have cast and convert. Let us see all those with some simple examples from our employee table. Just like this. First we can do all these string operations one by one with the help of our employee table. Let's paste this here. Let us select all these functions and let us use this one by one. Let us paste this here. So we have the first name, last name. Let us find the length of the first name of all the employees. We can use the length operator to find the length of the string. So we can provide the first name here, first name. So this will list the first name length of all the employees. See for, let's see data, you select start from employees and run this together. So first employee has first name with four characters, so we have got 4, and second one 4. So it will return the length of the string present in that column. So it will return the string length of the column we have specified. So this is the use of the length function. And for the left operator, you can use the same first name thing. You can use the left operator. You need to pass 2 parameters for this left operator. Left function, you need to pass two parameters. First we can give the first name column, and we need to specify from left how many characters you need. I need 2 characters from the left of each employee's first name. Let me execute this. This will return all the employees first name. It will return only 2 characters from the left side. If I need the letters from the right, then it will returns the characters from the right side. So let's say, for example, the first employee's name, first name is a John, so I have given right. It will returns it returns H and N. So if I give the left, it returns the J and O. So this is the function left and right to separate the strings using the specified number. And for the substring, you can give any number of letters inside this as a parameter. So for a substring, you need to pass the column name first and where to start from and where to end. Let's say first name, I have passed the column name first, and I need the letter starts from 2 and ends with 4. This will returns the index starting from 2 to the 4, which means the first name of the employee, the second letter, third letter and fourth letter, which will returns the 4 occurrence. This is so substring will takes the first parameter as the expression, and the second is the starting position, and third is the length of the characters. So when you hover this substring function, it shows it is a built-in function, and you need to pass the expression in the first parameter, and second the starting position, that is the index. I need to start from 2, and third you need to specify the length. That means from the second index I need 4 characters. So this returns the first name of the employees from the second character to 4 letters. So this is the use of the substring function. So we have char index. Let's paste this here. So while you hover this, it says that it will accept 2 to 3 arguments, which means you need to specify which column you need to use in this operation. I need to take from the first name of the employee. I need to find the character A. If present in the first name of the employee, it will return the index value of that character, which means, so 0, it specifies that there is no letter A present in employee 1. So while I execute this, the second employee has the first name as Jane, so A is present in Jane. So while I execute this query, it will returns 2 as a index value for me, because A is present in the second index of the first name for Jane Smith. So while I execute this, you can see for the ID 2 I have got index number 2. So char index will returns the index value of the specified character inside the specified expression, that is the column name. So replace value will replace the value. You can hover this. Replace is a built-in function, and you need to specify the expression first and the search character second, and you need to specify the replacement character at the last. So for as a first parameter, I have going to specify the first name, and I need to search is there any name as John. If it is present, I need to replace it as Joe. So when I execute this, first name, the employee with ID 1 has a first name as John. So while executing this, I got Joe. This replace value will not update the table, because while selecting this table it is not got updated. It will only update the name or replace the name in the select statement. So in such cases, you can use the replace statement to replace specific value inside your column, and you can use that for your computations. As usual, the upper will returns all the character as a uppercase value for the specified column. I need the last name of the employees all as a uppercase. When I try to execute this, you can see everything in this column is in a uppercase, and you can use the lower to get everything in a lowercase. You can specify lower. So I got all the letters in lower cases. So you can use this to compare the string values. And in L-trim and R-trim, you can use it to remove the unwanted space in your string. Let's say, for example, I have inserted a row inside this table. Let's say, for example, let me insert another one row inside this. Let me insert a row. Give the ID as 26. Leave everything as it is, and I'm going to leave some spaces here, and I'm going to leave some spaces here. So while I try to execute this statement, one row got affected, and when I try to select this from the employee table, it shows some spaces because I have inserted this as a character value with some spaces. So while I specifying as ltrim, let's select the first name from the employees. Control E. You can see it trims the unwanted space from the left side of the column in first name. So what if I give the last name for this query? Let's see, last name. So I have some unwanted space in the right side of the last name in the DOI. So while executing this, it will shows let's say for example I need the length of the last name for the employee number 26. Let's use the length function. If I give this for the employee with ID equal to 26, you need to specify the length as a outside parameter value, because you need to find the length after using the trim. So you can create this. Need to specify the var class. While executing this, I got 3. So I have executor can also proceed with rtrim, does the same thing. So you can see there are 7 characters here. If I use the ltrim, then you can see the changes. It only shows 4 characters. It says that using the ltrim and rtrim will remove the unwanted spaces present in your string value. So you can use the concat operation to concat 2 or more columns, string columns. If it is a string, you can concat your 2 or more columns into a single column. Let's say for example, I need the first name of the employee and last name of the employee as a full name. So I need some gap between both this. So let me give a space between this and end as full name. this, and while executing this you can see we got the full name with a gap between all the names. So you can use the concat operator to perform these operations. You can give n number of arguments for this concat operator. It will add all the columns and give you a single concatenate column. And we have the format which is used to format the strings. Let me give an example. I need say I need this joining date as only the date format. I don't need this date time format, and this is a string value, so you can use this format operator, format function to format your string. You need to pass the joining date as a first argument. And how I need this, I need the year first, y, and you need to specify the month as mm, and you can specify the date as dd. So this will returns, okay, this is a joining date, while executing this will returns only the date in the specified format. That means I have specified the year, month and date, so it returned as year, month and date. You can specify any type of format that you need to display. So these all are the some of the string functions available in SQL Server. These are the built-in functions for strings in SQL Server. So here are some mathematical functions. Let's see all this with some example. So absolute function, this absolute function will returns the positive value. Even if you pass the negative value inside this, it will convert it as a positive thing. Let's say for example I have given us select minus 2000 as absolute, and I press execute, it shows plus 2000 for me. Likewise, if you provide the salary column inside this will provide everything as a positive integer. In this case it's a decimal. If it is a negative number, it will returns only the positive number. It is the use of absolute function in SQL Server. And round, you can use this round function to round your decimal values to specific decimal points. Let's say for example I need the salary with rounding value of 0. So this is the actual salary format. While I execute this, it will round the value to 0 precision. And the seal, as it is in mathematical function, the seal function will rounds the value to the nearest greater value, whereas the floor will returns the round rounded value of the nearest smallest value. So let's say I need this seal here, and for the seal you need to only pass only one argument. I am going to pass the salary column inside the seal. While executing this rounds all the salary rate to the nearest highest integer, and the floor will round the value to the nearest lowest integer value. Let's say example. So this will round the value to the nearest smallest integer. So the power function is used to find the square, cube, and the power of the value. Let's say I need the power of 2. This will calculate the square of the salary rate. While I execute this, it performs the square operation. So I need the cube of number 2. You can perform this as 2 power 3. This will execute and give the result as 8. So you can use the power operation in such cases. And SQRT, this will returns the square root of the number specified, and I am going to pass the column inside this. It returns the square root value for each salary present in the employee table. Let's say for example I need the square root value for 4. It will returns 2. You can provide any value, it will find the square root value using this SQRT built-in function. And rand function is used to generate random numbers. Say for example select rand. While I execute this, I get some random values from 0 to 1. While I execute this multiple times, you can see the number gets changed each time. A unique random number will be generated for each execution of this query, and this sign function will return the sign of the value provided. If I provide 0, it will returns 0. If I provide this as 1000, it will returns 1, which is a positive 1. If I provide minus 1000, it will returns minus 1, which means it is if the value is negative, it will returns minus 1. If it is a 0, it will returns the 0, and if it is a positive number, it will returns 1. So these are some of the mathematical functions available in SQL Server. So now we are going to see about what all are the datetime functions available in SQL Server. So let's see about this one by one. We have already used GETDATE in some areas. You will remember that GETDATE will returns the date time, current date time. While I execute this returns the current date and the time. Currently it is 11:17. It returns the 11:17 time, and it is 21 March 24. So you can use the GETDATE function to get the current date time. So there are other date functions which are helpful you to find the date related values. You can use the date add function to add any dates. Let's say for example, I need all the employees whose joining date. This will returns all the employees joining date. I need only the joining year. You can use the year function. This is also a built-in function which will returns the year value of the employees. I need to add 10 years to all this years. Let's say for example, if the joining year of the employee is 2015, I need to give it as a 2025. If it is 2016, I need to give 2026. Like that, I need to add 10 years to all those joining date year. Let's use the same query and use the date add function in it. Use this and provide the date add here. The date add will accepts 3 parameters. Let's over here. So the date add will accepts 3 parameters, that is what is the thing you need to identify. I need to add the year and how much year you need to add. I need to add 10 years to this joining date here. While executing this, we can combinedly execute this. Okay, we can take only the year from this. You can take this. So now while I execute this, if it is 2015, it shows 2025. If it is 2016, it shows 2026, and so on. It adds 10 years to all this year of joining. So you can use this date add function like these operations. You can also take the month using the month operator. This will slice all the month of this joining date. Let's say for example, this is a third month, this is the first month, second month. Like that, you can use this year and month built-in functions to slice from your dates. So what is the date difference? The date difference is like the date add. Here you have provided the addition, where in the date difference you can provide the subtraction. Let's say for example, I need how many years from the date of birth and joining date of each employees. We have the date of birth and the joining date of all the employees. I need to find how many years difference between this date of birth and joining year. Let us use this date difference to find that. Select start from employee. Here I need to perform the date difference operation, where I need the year. So I pass this as a first parameter, and from birth date, birth date to join date. So let us copy this. So while I execute this, the employee 1 has started his job in 25 years, 31, 25. This returns the difference between the birth date and the joining date. If I provide this as a year, it will returns how many years. If I provide this as a month, then it will returns how many months difference for that. You can see it is a 298 months, 365 months, like that. You can use date difference operation, built-in function for those operations. You can also use the date part to perform the slicing from your dates. For example, we have used the year operator and month operator. You can use the same here. You need to pass two arguments. You need year, it will slice all the years from the date column you have specified. If you need month, you need to specify this as a month, and you can get all the month. If it is a March, it is 3, it is January, then 1. So you can also use the year of or month of function to slice this, or you can use the date part function to slice this. And there is another cool thing like date name. So if I pass this to this function, I need the date name. So this will returns, instead of the value, it will shows as a name. The first employee is joined us in the March and January, February. So you can use the date name in such thing, and you can use the format where you have already seen in the string function. You can use the date format. Let's say for example, I need to use this to format my date. Let's say for example, I need to format the birth date. You can see it is currently in year, month, and then date. So I need the date, month, and year. So I need to format this using the format operator. You can pass the birth date column as the first argument, and for the second argument you need to specify the format. I need date, month, and year. I need the birth date in this format. So while executing this, it returns the date, month, and the year for the birth date of the employees. So sys date time, this will returns the current date time, while getDate also returns the same thing, but the sys date time will returns the current date time with higher precision. That is, it can give even more precise value for the current date time value than the getDate built-in function. So there is date from parts. We can use this to form dates from some part of your operations. Let's say for example, I need 1990 and May month, and also the 21st, this as a date format, in a date format. So it returns this value in a date format. I have provided just like in a string value, it has it has arranged this as a date format for me using the date from parts. There is also date difference big. We have already performed the operation which is date diff. Let's use this date difference. I have provided the year difference between the birth date and the joining date. Let's see the same example and the joining date. While I execute this, it shows 25 years, 31 years and so on. If I provide month, it returns the date, it returns the month. What if I need the date? It returns this. If I need hour, I need to provide hour. While executing this, it returns this. If I need to perform even more smaller thing with a high precision, you can use the big, where you can even also provide seconds. This will return how many seconds he took from birth to joining for the company. So the employee 1 took this much seconds from his birth date to the joining date. You can use a date diff big for such big difference operations. So these are some date operations you can perform in your table in SQL Server. So those are some built-in functions available for you. And in the aggregation function, you have some average, count, max, min. Let's see this all with some examples. I need the sum of salary. Select sum of salary from the employee. This will returns the overall sum of this salary of all the employees. So this is the total salary of all the employees. We got the sum value. So I need the average value of all the salary. It returns the average value for all the salaries of employees. So I need a count of records in the table. You can use the count function. This will returns the count of records present in the employee table. So this count function is very much useful for you in many scenarios. If you have a table with more records, let's say for example you have millions and millions of records, if you try to find by executing the query, then it takes so much time, and even the server will stops while fetching so much records. So if you need to find how many records available in your table, it's easy to find using this count operator. You can even provide count of 1 anything from this employee table, then it will returns how many rows are found in those tables. So currently I have 26 rows in my employee tables. So count, you can use count function for those operations. You can perform many other operations using the count function. And the max function, already we have seen this. I need the maximum salary of the employees present in this table. So 70,000 is the maximum salary, and the min will returns the minimum salary value. So 48,000 is the minimum salary present in this table. So finally we have a cast and convert function. You have two things, cast and convert function to convert our data types. For example, our salary is in of decimal type. So if I try to print the salary, say I need the salary select start from employees. I need the salary. This will returns as a decimal value. If I need this as a integer value, you can use the cast function. I need to specify, I need to cast this as an integer. You need to specify with the alias name, and you have to give for what value you need to convert this. So now it is returned as a integer value. You can use a integer and cast it as a string value, and you can make the string value as a integer value, and so many things using this cast and convert function. Convert will also perform the same thing, but there is a little bit difference in the syntax. Again is the convert function here, and for this convert function you need to specify the data type in the as a first argument. I need to specify the salary as a second. So we have seen all the built-in operators available for the string function, mathematical function, date function, aggregation and conversion functions. So these are the most commonly used built-in functions available in SQL Server. So I hope you understood the concepts of the built-in functions and how you can use all those built-in functions in your queries. Let me provide the GitHub link in the description. You can find the solution there, and you can find the exercise for today's class. Please subscribe to the channel, and let me meet you in the next video. Thank you.